Okay. So there looks like there's a flag that, oh, okay, hold on. People have banners. Let's see, people. Okay. There's a drone up there, and that's like a very fancy big drone. I don't know if you can see it. That's not a kitty drone. That's someone help me out. It's one of those. It's not the DJI Inspire. It's a real drone. That might have a camera on it. How you doing? So, as long as you can't get it up. I don't know what that means. But hold on, if they hung, which way is that jump going? Okay, so no jump, jokes aside. This is part of the counter protest. If you have a mic and you want to explain what the nature of the counter protest is, you want to do it.
I can say that we're here for the 85% of people in this city who did their part to fight COVID. They did their part by social distancing, wearing masks, getting the vaccination. And when Ontario opens up, it's because of those people, not because of people who stopped the beat.
What do you have to say to or about the people who don't think that they should be compelled to get vaccinated?
Well,
what is
those truckers had choice.
What is it? But what is that choice?
They can get the vaccine.
Okay. The quarantine whenever they become exposed.
No one is forced. They always have.
Well, if your choice. Okay, now, serious question. If your choice is get the vax or be detained for however many days it is because you didn't, is that a choice or is that coercion?
Here's my take. We live in society. It gives us nice things. It could be community, it could be culture, it could be economic opportunity. The price we pay is our cooperation. You know, like we have to stop at red lights. Are you infringing on the freedoms? No.
Well, I think
the rules.
I would agree that stopping at a red light infringes on your freedom. But is there a distinction? Is there a line at which crossing that line for your freedom is not acceptable? Like, where is the line where you have crossed over infringing on someone's freedom? Red light, fine. Seatbelt, fine. Forcing someone to do something. Okay. Who decides then in any given specific context? And even a more scientific question is the quarantine period. What good is, if we now know that those who are vaccinated can and still do in fact carry the virus? What good does a quarantine on the unvaccinated do scientifically?
There's 19 unvaccinated people are 19 times more likely to end up in the hospital or ICU.
I want to agree with that, but even assuming I agree with that, that's on them, not on the vaccine.
And we all pay for that krypton infrastructure.
Okay, but then let me ask you this question. So, are you a proponent then of telling heavy people to lose weight because they are more likely to go to the hospital and incur costs?
I think there's definitely ways we can incentivize those kinds of behaviors. Like, what about an alcohol and tobacco tax?
Yeah, well, that's on the product, but not on the healthcare service itself.
Excise tax on that then goes to fund the critical public services.
Okay, arguably, but even still, that you're talking about a tax on the product as opposed to governing the behavior. So,
man, if this goes on, I'm gonna have to start billing you for time.
Dude, what do you do for a living? I'm a lawyer. I charge more. All right, have a good one. All right, fair enough. Glad to be willing to talk.
Our city! Our city!
Would you be willing to express yourselves? No? Okay. Fire slowly, quickly. No, so I don't think it doesn't seem that a lot of people here want to discourse. Say it again. Oh, sorry, you're not talking about. Okay. So let's see. We got end hate. This gentleman might have a discourse. Would you have a discourse? No. Okay, maybe not. No one's gonna say I have not tried. I will try. I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, this one says go away. 3 Ottawa truckers go home. Would you would not want to talk either?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Okay, cut. So, okay, you're part of the counter protest.
I am.
Okay, explain to the world what I'm doing the what again. What are you counter protesting? What is the purpose of the counter protest?
I have never protested in my life, but I am so appalled by the lack of action by all 3 levels of government. The occupation of Ottawa has to end. I live just outside the red zone. It's appalling. I cannot go to an office building. I can't shop. I can't go to church.
You can't shop, you can't go to an office building, you can't go to church. What do you have to say to the people who are protesting because they can't go to church, they can't go shopping, and they can't go to the office because of the government?
Get vaccinated and do what you can.
Okay, but now, if I may ask, could you recognize a certain inconsistency in telling someone that they have to do something with their body to do the things that you're complaining you can't do now because it's an inconvenience?
It's not an inconvenience, it's an occupation. I'm not telling them that they have to be vaccinated. I'm saying that if they want certain things, certain rights, then they have to be vaccinated.
If they want certain rights.
You can't drive a car without facing the consequences.
True.
You can't drive drunk without facing the consequences. If you don't want to be vaccinated, then you have to face the consequences.
Okay, true, but putting a seatbelt over my shoulder is different than putting a medication in my body. You acknowledge that?
The rationale and the reason behind it is exactly the same. Public safety.
So how much of your body does the government get to own for purported public safety?
The government doesn't own any of my body. I follow scientific expertise and I follow government recommendations. I made the choice to be vaccinated. No one forced me. And the people who are unvaccinated, if they're in a car crash, they will go to a hospital and get x-rays. Well, I'm sorry, x-rays you see your body. How is that different than a vaccination?
Well, I would say if the government forced me to get an x-ray, I would say it's not much different than the government forced me to get vaccinated. Where's the limit? Like, where's the limit as to what the government can make you do to your body in order to be a part of society? Is there a limit?
Of course there's a limit. We had an election not that long ago, and it was one of the main issues was vaccine mandates. And this democratically elected government in Ottawa was elected by the majority of people. And the provinces all are democratically elected. If they're worried about vaccine mandates, they can talk to the provincial leaders. And they all say the same thing. Every single leader in the country is saying the vaccine.
Well, no, I have no doubt every leader in the country who may have financial interests in pharmaceutical companies are saying the same thing. You're aware that the pharma companies have immunity for any negative consequences from the vaccine? So you do not know that as a condition for the pharma companies to provide this vaccine, they insisted on immunity from any negative consequences from it. Oh, well, it's true. Would that change your mind if you knew that? That they were immune from liability from any potential wrongdoing from the vaccine that they're putting into your body. Would that change your mind or cause you to think about something?
I am not a big fan of big pharma, but that doesn't mean that I would not use products that are life-saving.
True, but you are also familiar with big pharma paying the biggest criminal penalties for concealing the fact that some of their big pharma products are killing people and they know it, but they want to conceal it to continue making profits.
Look at tobacco.
Yep.
Look at cigarettes. But the biggest thing that's killing people now, alcohol.
I agree with that. By the way,
That's not big pharma.
opioids. Well, opioids is big pharma, and that's killing more people. And that's killing more people, by and large, because of the lockdown measures and its impact on people. But okay, well, we made some progress. I think if you recognize you are suspicious of big pharma, you should ask some questions as to what's going on now. But at the very least, I can understand the noise is annoying, and protests typically are.
It's not annoying. it is torture. The United Nations says that sleep deprivation is torture.
Yep.
The people who live on that street are not able to sleep for 7 minutes.
Okay, but I've heard diverging stories as to whether or not they're honking their horns between 8 and 8. But speaking of United Nations, you're familiar with the Nuremberg Code as well? If we're going to cite international law?
I know Nuremberg, but I don't know.
You might want to go look up the Nuremberg Code, but thank you very, very much. Thank you. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. I absolutely thank you so much, Molly.
Yeah, I'm glad. But I am shivering.
That's a great picture.
Well, it's also in video in real time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you need a coffee or something?
No, I'm good. It's my fingertips. I'll just gonna get this.
Hopefully someone's going to give you a hot pad again.
Those turn my hands very bizarre color. Okay, let's see here. Your tactics are bad, and you should feel bad. You don't want to talk? Okay, fine. Okay, now I'm just gonna ask you this. I'm gonna point this way. Did you guys support the BLM protests? So you supported the BLM protests at home by donating to the protest. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you the question. It's for food for thought. Do you find anything mutually incompatible, intellectually contradictory to support that protest and not this one?
I think one rally in Ottawa is the same as being down here for the youth. Laying on the horns all the time. You think those are the same thing?
I think I don't think it was one day for any BLM protest. I would disagree on that.
I was here.
Yeah, you're over here.
No. Well, hold on. But you support certain protests if it's lasts a certain period of time?
Yes. No, I support them if they're good, and I don't support them.
Okay, so that's there we have the idea. That's the distinction.
Yeah. And criminals. We don't support criminals.
Who are the criminals?
Well, people who are assaulting people.
No, hold on. Who is assaulting people? So the
assaulting people, they've been harassing people, they've been shitting all over.
So if I were to tell you I spent 3 days looking for piss and shit and saw nothing, would you believe me?
I would probably believe you because people probably picked it up.
Okay.
All like neighbors, people don't want that to sit on their confidence.
Okay, I'll invite you.
Who are you with?
I'm with me.
With what?
I'm alone. I'm just coming up. I heard about the pits and shit, and I came and I looked for it, and I saw none of it. I went to the Terry's box and I wanted to see it, and I saw none of it.
Assault, well, ice cream stuff up there, a couple of people that threw them to the ground. And there are numerous stuff over there. Happy Goat Cafe.
How are you?
Rainbow Flag. All of these things. You're talking about BLM. Since when has BLM ever paralyzed the city for 8 or 9 days? Driven people.
Since when?
No, you asked me.
Yeah.
Horns at 85 decibels inside the house in some places. Since when did they ever do anything like that? Since when did they ever drive 18-wheelers into a city and take it over?
Hey, man! How are you, brother?
How you doing?
See you, man.
Speaking of which, dude, you've got some courage.
Oh, hey!
We're not flagging here, sir.
Hey! This is a free country, and we're people free!
God bless. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, I'll say, gentlemen, you want to talk or no?
What?
Why you're here? And by the way, no antagonism. Just you can express it.
Just interested in getting both sides of the story.
As am I. Good. Like it's an answer no one can disagree with. All right. So I think we've seen some. This is. I'm gonna go do a walk that is going to exemplify the world in which we live. And it's so cold. This represents the social divide in Canada at the current time. One side, another side. And It's almost like the scene from V for Vendetta. It's a joke. It's because the society. Say it again? Yeah, sure. You know, I'll come back. Thank you. It's like you see in the movies. We are living in a caricature society now. And I place the blame squarely on one group of people, and it's not either side of this. It's the politicians and the media. So we have OPS, multiple groups. We got certified people of color. Okay, you got a good camera.
Hi there.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, how are you?
Good. By the way, what's actually interesting? How you doing? Bigger tip. Oh, dude, yes, I'll take one of those.
Guys, you just mind standing on the sidewalk there?
Sure. Okay, that would be
Yeah, there's
the sweet and merciful goodness. Here, hold that for 1 second.
Yeah. Sure, do you want to hold the gloves?
Yeah, I can hold your gloves.
No.
Alright.
So what are you doing?
There's an open here, a little tab.
Yeah.
It says open here on one of the left.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then I just
These
shake
are
them.
for the toes, but they are better.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so basically just
Stick them to the inside of the
put
glove.
them on your tummy.
It's this is, and I just that's it.
Yeah. And then there's little tabs that you have to pull off.
Where? Oh, the stick figure down. Like this.
Yeah.
They will warm up as I go.
Yeah,
We
I
have
went
them right
into
now.
them all day and they work so
Okay,
well.
that's all I needed.
I just noticed that you were freezing.
Yeah, they're it's getting there. This is interesting. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
How you doing?
So you found it.
I found it. I found it, and some of them are actually talking about it. It's not a bad thing. Oh, thank you. Could you slip that in my pocket? It's impossible. I'll stay warm in my soul. What's interesting, by the way, is I haven't seen this much media, like big camera media, anywhere in the protest. But they're here. They're here. So this is interesting. I would say not to a lot of people. It says in the occupation, go home bullies. But what's interesting is not everybody wants to talk. There's a lot of people here, so you gotta give them credit. It's just you understand the ideological divide that's going on, and you can understand the motivation. Can I ask you a question? No, I'm not. Well, okay, that's a shame. So one person was willing, but I guess the sign says, "Be angry at how Trudeau treats Indigenous people, not this. Get the vaccine." I wanted to ask a question of irony about that post. They were told not to engage. It's I saw you. No, but what's interesting is they support some protests, but not others. That's it. That's democracy. Well, okay, will you? May I discuss with you? I will not. I'm a very nice person. Democracy is. I would see. Well, we can talk from behind the sign. You don't even have to show me your face. How you doing? Democracy is plurality of ideas. Okay, I guess. I could have had a discussion with her. I could have had a discussion with the one with the indigenous sign, but looks like it's not gonna happen. I gotta go away from the person who's spoiling everybody's willingness to talk with me. I'm gonna go over here. Let's see. Honk if you are being sued. Okay, what does that mean? See, no, don't spoil. Some people are allowed to talk. What does that mean? Yeah. Do you want to explain the lawsuit? See, they're being. Now I'm to conclude that person is being sued. Why are you here? What is the this? What's the this that you want to end? That's annoying. Okay, well, I'll give it a wider angle. But you understand what Okay, and I've had this dilemma myself as well. In general, when they go on strike and they don't drive the bus, they say, I agree with what you're doing, maybe, but you're punishing the people who are the most vulnerable. What do you do? What's the practical solution to protesting when you feel the way they do and nothing else is getting through?
I understand your frustration. I really do. But picking it up, there's lots of other ways.
I want to hear one. I want to hear one. No, it's not like. First of all, like I've been here.
Nobody wants to talk to you. Go to the other side.
I'm live streaming. I'm live streaming right now. I'm not with the convoy. I have nothing to do with the convoy. Because I have a YouTube channel where I have nothing to do with the convoy. I'm down here documenting everything in real time. By the way, because I've seen in Montreal, and I hear that they say that there's people desecrating the statues, this and that, and I can't unsee it. And I heard people saying that the horns are honking all night long, so they can't sleep. And I had to ask them. I said, if they're doing that, I was documenting last night. So if they're doing it, people are going to see it. They're going to come to their own conclusion. The issue is, protests. It's always the line. They have to be disruptive, but if they're too disruptive, they become abusive. But now, what do you do? Like, this is my question. This is my own question. They're going to say, just leave, and then when you go back to your lockdowns, you go back to being told you can't work and you do certain things. How do they reach the people who... The politicians are not even listening to them now. So what do they have to do to make them listen? So that's a fair point. Now the question is this: if they go to the politicians' houses, the neighbors, I think that's a no-no outright. I mean, if you go to their place of business. But okay, it's nice. I really have no ill will for my part. This one. That's it. It's the dilemma. I think some of them are not as middle ground as you. Some of them are. And how does that? The bottom line. You think the government should drop mandates?
Well, I don't know, because I did.
No, well, it's not about vaccine mandates. I think it's about all the mandates. But have you gone down to see it? To the actual epicenter of the. Okay. And what did you see, and what was your impression of it? Did you? I'm going to ask you a serious question. Did you see anything remotely intolerant, other than the F Trudeau sign?
Oh no, I did.
Okay. Okay, good enough. I'm sorry. Thank you very much, by the way. I'm not here for. I just want to hear what everyone hears. So you got F the convoy, which is a good. Here, hold on. Down there, you got the F the convoy, which is a good play. It's a good play. Thank you very much.
What's the last?
Pickford.
Remember the Pickford?
Yeah.
Remember the person? And did he sue?
Yeah, he's suing. He's
suing the government.
He's suing the government for the charter violations on the travel restrictions and all the other stuff. My God, my head is I'm fairly certain that's it. What is slowly? SLOLY. Oh, it's not a play on the word slowly.
Well,
Slowly.
a lot of people are.
I get it. Do you mind talking? You don't want to talk? Okay, so tell the world. I mean, what's the counter protest about?
Well,
And by the way, we're live streaming. I'm not trying to embarrass you. Period.
what's your YouTube channel?
Viva Frei.
Okay.
I'm a lawyer by trade, and I turned into.
What do you think?
What do I think of the counter protesters for?
Yeah.
Well, I think you guys want the noise to stop, personally.
That's partly that.
Okay, but now the question is this: do you think that protesting, being compelled to get vaccinated in order to keep your job, is a legitimate cause of protest?
I mean, yeah, you got a right to protest anything in this country.
Where are you in Ottawa, like geographically?
South.
So do you hear the horns from where you are? All right, that's interesting. So what is your practical solution to this? To the people, to their grievances, what do you have to say?
I mean, they're the vast minority in this country. A lot of us want to keep those vaccines.
So you would personally want to keep the vaccine mandates?
As long as they're effective.
Okay, well, therein lies one of the bigger questions. But and even if they were effective, someone says, I don't want to do it regardless. His religious reasons, other reasons. Would you accept their reasons for not getting vaccinated?
I mean, yeah, they're welcome to not be vaccinated, but they have to deal with the outfall or the fallout.
What's the fallout? That they can't work, or they can't go to movie theaters or go to restaurants if they choose not to for this particular COVID?
Yeah. Because they are risking other people's lives.
Well, that's a discussion I don't want to get into. It's not clear. You got vaccinated and it reduces the severity of symptoms. Fine. It's not clear. I could agree on the cost argument if you say, well, if they go to the hospital, we're going to have to pay for it, but that's kind of what universal health care means. So, I mean, are you willing to abandon the idea of universal health care as well?
We all have a duty to keep ourselves as healthy as we can.
So, do you think then that the government can charge overweight people or people with STDs for their life decisions that led to them?
When I say duty, I mean you have a personal responsibility. There doesn't need to be financial penalties, but you should keep yourself healthy if you can.
Should you be taxed or fired if you choose not to? Is the question. And better yet, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? Like what can you be compelled to do for cost or for health? Anything?
I think these mandates that we have are rather reasonable, especially with the vaccine. It's a freely available product, and you can get it for free. So, and they're safe and effective. There's mountains of data out there that shows how safe these vaccines are. You can point to random cases here and there. People talk about the
Myocarditis.
Right? But this is a very rare and acute symptom, and this is something that is very treatable in the hospital as well. And people that get COVID often get worse myocarditis than the vaccine.
I will not. No legal or medical advice, people. You always know my rule, and some of you call me a chicken for it. I know what I'm thinking in my head.